This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order for the police committee meeting. Thursday, April 29th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. Due to the governor's order of having remote meetings, I am here at the Village Hall. Stan Malagranda, chairman. Any public comment? Nobody signed up. Number 3 is disclosure of conflict of interest. Anybody have any?
Don, no.
Julie?
No.
Okay, thank you. We'll look for number 4 to approve minutes from April 8th, 2021.
Julie will make the motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second
For
it.
a second. Okay. Roll call, Julie O'Rourke,
Here.
Don Kimes,
Here.
Stan Malagranda, yes. Okay, minutes are approved. Move on to number 5, which is the swearing in of Matthew Lane.
Are you gonna do it over here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Flags, I'm gonna
He's
move over.
gonna swear at you.
Which side do you want him on?
He can be on the side, it's fine. Move this side.
To get it right. Are you ready?
Whenever you're ready.
Raise your right hand and state your name.
Matthew Lane.
Having been duly appointed,
Having been duly appointed,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will uphold
that I will uphold
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Illinois,
of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of police officer
the duty of police officer
in and for
in and for
the Village of Winnebago,
the Village of Winnebago
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my abilities.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You need to. sign.
Congratulations. Thank you, Stan. Welcome. Thank you.
Sign that. That's on you.
Did
He doesn't have his vest on, so.
I know. No, I just wondered if somebody came in back there. I didn't know if it
Probably
was
Nick.
Nick. Probably Nick, now that we did it.
Somebody go up there.
Oh, I missed that.
Step. You want to be a witness?
I'll send you these. What I got.
Congratulations, Matt.
Thank you.
Or do you prefer Matt?
Welcome, Matt.
Yeah.
All right, that being done, we'll move on to number 6, which is Chief White's probation. He was hired in as chief on May 11th, 2020, and it is coming up to that time. His basically look for a motion to end his probation and have him as our chief. The current salary as 82,000. And I would look for a motion to increase his salary 1.5%, which would bring that to 83,230, which comes out of line item 0143,422. Any,
This is trustee Kimes. I so move.
is there a second?
Sorry, I'll second.
Okay, do roll call. Don
Mayor-
Kimes? Yeah.
Hold on. Just a quick minute. Is this kind of the agreement we had in place? I don't remember the numbers. Is this kind of what we said that when we set this up, or how did we come up with 1.5?
Yes.
There was no agreement, but that's what's in the line item for 2021 for the chief's position. Actually a little less than the number that the new salary would be.
Can you repeat that, Jeff?
So I took the line item for the chief of police, had a certain number in it. It was 83.3, I think it was, and change for that line item. So at the recommendation of Stan, he said, check into what the number is for the total salary for the chief of police for the 2021 budget. I determined that was about 1.5% higher than what I was making. So that's what we based it off of. So it's still within the line item for the chief of police's position, his salary. It was in the approved budget.
Okay, I was just thinking back to when we moved you into the position. Was there an agreement ahead of time for that, or it was just you were gonna evaluate you after your full year and determine what to do from there?
Yeah, it was going to be based on my performance throughout the year. But I don't want to go over the budget on that salary line item, so that's why it was kept at that level.
Okay, just trying to understand the numbers. That's all, because I don't have anything in front of me. So okay, that's fine. I just wanted to discuss it a little.
Oh, that's fine. If you have any more questions, please let me know. If you have something later on, you can call me or whatever. But this is what we came up with because we didn't want to go over the line item for the chief's position. So it's actually a little less than what the line item is, and it just came out to the 1.5%, as close as we can get without having an odd number.
Okay. And then Jeff, remind me, I think we're kind of moving toward annual reviews then, so you wouldn't be up for another increase then until next May, is that right?
Correct. Unless there's something else that's evaluated, because I know there was talk of CPI along with an annual, so I don't know how that's going to work out yet. That's not been set in stone, so we'll have to see what happens with, I guess, the unionization as well too. So that might play a factor in it as well.
Right. Okay. Okay, thank you. I just wanted some clarification.
You're fine.
Is there any other questions? Hearing none, we'll go to roll call. Don Kimes,
Yes.
Julie O'Rourke,
Yes.
Stan Milligranda, yes. All right, move on to number 7 with monthly statistics. I believe you have that.
Yep, I provided the monthly statistics. This is an overview for the year so far, and it's listed on there monthly. So if you have any questions about that or concerns, please let me know. I try and provide that on a regular basis or at least every police committee meeting, so you guys can see what crime trends are or are not. So.
Is there any questions on number 7, the monthly statistics?
Jeff, I didn't see anything jump off the page or anything, but is there anything you wanted to highlight?
No, the domestic batteries we had a bunch of in the past, earlier in the year. Those seem to have subsided to the extent they are right now. I think the only large number we've seen are thefts, retail thefts and stuff like that, and sometimes that's uncontrollable. A lot of times we have drive-offs from mobile where they don't get the information off the vehicle, so we have really nothing to investigate. Other than that, I think we're no higher or lower than what we've been in the past.
Okay, thanks.
I think we might have, as we do every year, might see an increase in crime statistics throughout the warmer months, but right now we're sitting pretty familiar to what we've been in the past.
We're gonna move number 8 around. We'll go to Chief White's report. Sergeant Half is out on a call.
The only I have, just to let you know, I did order the new firearms for the agency. When I placed that order, I was told it could be up to 120 days before those would be available to us. So it's just a matter of waiting the time out and get notification from Keesler that those weapons are available for our agency. So.
Is that all you have?
Yeah, that's all I've got for this report. I told you it's going to be a short meeting.
Okay, we'll move on to, anybody have number 10 is new business. Anybody have any?
I had something, what was I gonna, did we discuss about new business? Oh, that was,
Weapons,
yeah, it's okay, I was doing my report.
and Nick is on his way back now, so
Okay.
he'll be here shortly.
So I know Nick was gonna talk about, we'll kind of go into what Sergeant Half is gonna speak about. We did get some numbers, not actual leasing numbers, but cost of the vehicle, be a 2021 or 22 Tahoe. The vehicle list price was $39,000 plus a couple added things. But we haven't actually got a lease number, you know, what it would be for a yearly lease and what that cost is yet. The leasing company would have to get all the numbers and then come up with a number we would pay on a yearly basis for that. He may have some more with that, I don't know. We just got those numbers back from the dealership day before yesterday, so we're just waiting for them to develop the lease option or lease cost. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have that for maybe the next police committee meeting, and then we look at that more closely.
Yeah, and I know that last night with Public Works, Trustee Graham is wanting to have a meeting with Sergeant Half and Chad about the leasing portion of it. And Sergeant Half just walked in, so we'll let him go along with his report.
I just covered a little bit of lease stuff about the cost of the vehicle and that, so whatever else you have.
I'm just waiting for them to wrap up the complete quote. And once that is done, I will have better information. I'm attending the finance committee meeting on Thursday of next week. So I should have those numbers by then.
We skipped you and then now we're back to you. So.
Oh, all right, perfect. So that was number 1 on my list. Number 2 is training of the new hire, this fireman.
Yep.
Okay,
Missed it.
perfect. I
You
missed
missed
it.
He's been sworn in.
All right, perfect. So as it stands right now, I have him slated for a 15-week training program, and that's split between myself and Officer Spellman. He'll spend the first 5 weeks, well, 5.5 weeks with me until I go on vacation in June, and then he will go to Officer Spellman for a period of 8 weeks, and then come back to me as kind of a final check sheet or check off on everything. Of course, that is going to be contingent upon what the Illinois Training and Standards Board will want from him as far as an online class, 2-week transition period, and his 200-question test. How many questions? And then the schedule will be updated to include, actually the schedule has been updated, excuse me, to include Officer Lane on the schedule until the end of the year. So before we go, I will show you that. Then I only have 2 other items. Benton and Soper, where the street goes to one way, I would like to put a barricade down on the east side of the road that would potentially block anyone to continue northbound on Benton Street. Something that I would like to see if we can either obtain one that can be filled with sand or water, or just have Public Works give us one of their larger road closed signs to kind of curtail people from continuing northbound where it turns into one-way.
We'll put that on the agenda for the board so the board can discuss that.
We've just been receiving a lot of complaints about it lately, so I'd like to see something done other than me just parking the squad car there and waiting for people all day long. That could be a fruitless endeavor there. And then the last item I have is a positive action report. I actually emailed a copy of one of these to both Don and Julie, and I showed it to you both. Basically just a brief overview of something positive that an officer does, whether it be, we get an email or a message here at the office about something that they've done positive within the community, or they're recruiting new staff, or they just do their job exceptionally well. This could be a form that we would fill out describing the event, and it would be placed in the officer's personnel file. This would help me at the end of the year doing evaluations, and it would be something good to kind of keep track of positives within an officer's career rather than looking at just negatives. And Julie and Don, like I said, I emailed you copies of that, so you should have that by now.
All right, any questions? Hearing none, like I said, we'll go to new business. Did anybody have any new business?
Hey, I'm sorry.
Can we go back? I was having a phone call come in at the same time, and I couldn't figure out how to get myself off mute. So this, Nick, this evaluation thing, who would be filling out these forms?
Either myself or the chief. If somebody were to come in and say, hey, officer so-and-so did a great job with this. This is something that we could fill out and it can be kept in the employee's personnel file.
Okay, so just if somebody comes in, okay, got it.
Or if, as we're going through, they work a good case and they consistently do good work. This is something that even if a trustee or Frank were to come up and say, hey, I noticed that Officer so-and-so is doing really great with this. This is something that we can include with their evaluations every year.
So it's basically just a form we can put, when we have good comments about officers or people come to us to say that, well, I did a good job on this. I really appreciate how they helped us. And that we just put it in a form, keep it in their file. And it's also for us to use during their yearly evaluation to help bring those things to the forefront instead of, always, the only time you hear about officers is when they're in trouble for something. And this is trying to put more things on the good side than the bad.
So what about when you hear a bad comment? Does the form get filled out then too, or not?
Well, this is a positive action report.
Okay.
The negative ones are kept by me, so.
Yeah, that
Okay.
internal investigations are, but we have a form very similar, or not similar, but there is a way to do that as well.
Okay. And I'm sorry, you said something about blocking a street or something?
Yes, I would like to block a portion of what would be considered the northbound lane of Benton Street, right from Soper, where the street goes down to one-way from two-way. I would like to have Public Works. I'd like to have Public Works put a barricade there to curtail people from continuing north.
We still have complaints and problems with people traveling northbound on Benton Street after north of Soper, where it's one way. So the idea is to block part of that roadway so it less apt, and have a sign on the visible side of it that says, one way or do not enter, to try and get people used to having that being a one-way street again. I know it's been that way for a while now. And apparently people still don't understand that it's went back to a one-way. Years ago it was a one-way, and it got changed to two ways, and now it's back to one-way. And I think people have formed a habit of going north in that block of Benton Street. We're just trying to curtail that so we don't have any accidents.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and then I do have some new business, and I'd like to say that after 16 years on the board, and being police committee chairman for what, 4, 5?
At least.
Something like that. With the possibility of me not being on the board anymore after this. Just want to say that it's been a pleasure and an honor working with everybody on the committee level and also with all the officers. And whenever I see them, I'll always continue to try to help out in any way that I can. So with that being said, move on. There is no reasons for executive session, and I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Julie, I'll make the motion. All right, second, Julie.
All right, we'll do roll call. That'd be Don Kynes,
Yes.
Julia O'Rourke,
Yes.
and Melogranda, yes. And the time is 5:53. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Aye.
Big short.